Good evening and welcome to the 11th graduation ceremony of the Next Step Traditional Program. Your attendance means a lot to all of us graduates. Thank you for coming. And now I'd like to introduce our program supervisor, Heather, who will start our program for the evening.
Right there. Thank you for that introduction, Adiyami. And thank you for attending this evening. As Adiyami said, my name is Heather Kosek, and I'm the program supervisor at Next Step. We will begin our program this evening with the graduate processional. Guests, please rise as the Next Step class of 2015 enters the auditorium. You may be seated. Next Step graduates, congratulations. Each and every one of you has worked hard to get to this moment. Collectively, if you add all of your hard work together, you have attended countless number of classes, worked on hundreds of projects with classmates, logged thousands of on-the-job training hours, looked at bus schedules too many to count, taken the permit test time and maybe time again, cooked new and interesting recipes, participated in meetings with your teachers, and pushed toward your goal of graduation. You have learned that perseverance and hard work pays off. So how does it feel? Jen says good. Good. These past few weeks, I've had the pleasure of attending exit presentations for our graduates. During these presentations, I have heard students talk about the personal growth that they have experienced at Next Step. As you move forward and on to your next step in your life's journey, I, along with the staff at Next Step, wish you great success. And as you reflect on your time here, my guess is that you would all agree that you couldn't have made it to this point without the support of key people in your lives. At this time, I would like to take a moment to thank all of the family members and friends who are here to support our graduates. Please stand and be recognized for supporting these young people. Family members, friends, please stand. Tonight, we are honored to have with us Director of Student Services, Corey McIntyre, Superintendent Patty Phillips, school board members, let's see if they're in the right order, Amy Coburn, Becky Navy, Michelle Yenner, Caleb Anderson, and Steve Hunt. A special thank you goes out to the incredible staff at Next Step. Please stand. Through this last year, I have witnessed our team pouring their hearts and energy into their jobs, staying late, coming early, working with you to make sure that you get what you need, and coordinating with outside agencies on your behalf. Their dedication to your individual success and advancement of all of our students into the real world is unmatchable and inspiring. Thank you. To begin our program, I would like to introduce Eric Knobloch. Eric is a former Next Step graduate of the class of 2014. He's here to share with you a few words and advice and a little inspiration. Eric.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Knobloch. I went to Tartan High School and then Next Step for 3 years. I graduated in 2014. When I first started at Next Step, I was shy and timid. I acted kind of immaturely and wouldn't communicate with staff or peers and would get frustrated real easily. It was hard for me to get away from the fun of high school. At that point, I wasn't ready for the challenges of what Next Step would offer. I felt insecure and like I wasn't strong enough to cope with all of the changes around me, like classwork, peers, and teachers. I felt depressed by going to school every day. It took some time over the summer for me to get away from school and the challenges I first faced and realized that during my rookie year at Next Step, I had been egotistical and only thinking of myself. Then I thought about how my younger friends from high school would be coming to Next Step that upcoming year, and that was motivation for me to try to communicate more. That was my wake-up call. I think of my second year as my sophomore/junior year, and the root word soph, S-O-P-H, means wisdom in Greek. You might be thinking, how did I get wiser? I communicated more with peers and staff. I was more willing to try some new things like volunteering at Marshall's and Oakdale Elementary in this school district. I also got my first paid job working as a kitchen assistant at Next Step. That year I was the only student who got 2 student awards, Volunteer of the Month and Employee of the Month. And I think that shows how much I improved and developed new skills, unlike my first year. If none of this had happened in my second year, I don't know where I would be right now. My third year started off well, but then change started to come back. I knew the end of Next Step would be a huge deal for me. Thinking about graduation made me think about being on a football field and being pancaked by an offensive lineman. I felt overwhelmed, and that started to affect my communication. It wasn't as bad as my first year, but it wasn't easy either. I was more focused on work and showing that I could be more independent. Prior to my exit presentation last year, I didn't want to go to graduation because of these feelings. But then I realized I needed to just have some guts and go to the ceremony because I would have regretted it if I didn't go. And I'm glad that I went, because if I wouldn't to go there, I wouldn't be standing here today speaking to you graduates. Right before graduation, I got a job working at Little Caesars. I had some work experience before, working in the pro shop at Pins and taking tickets at the Metrodome, including working the Vikings' final game there that season. However, these jobs were just 1 day a week for a few hours at a time. Little Caesars was my first non-seasonal job, working more than 1 day a week. It was scary to start working at first in a new environment, and it took me some time to adjust. I realized that this would be my new life to adjust to, that I needed to keep myself busy each day. I learned that I needed to be flexible at first, doing jobs that I didn't want to do as much. I spent most of the first summer shakeboarding in front of the store and then working in the dough room/prep area. Over time, I showed my boss that I could be reliable and advocated for myself to work in a kitchen position. My boss and I didn't know if I could handle the fast pace of the make line, preparing pizzas before they are baked, or landing, taking them out of the oven, cutting and boxing them. But I surprised myself and my boss with my skills. Just last week, I celebrated my first anniversary there. I don't want to stay at Little Caesars forever, but I know that I can't just quit without a plan and another job in place. I also spend a lot of my time with different activities. I continue to volunteer at Oakdale Elementary like I did at Next Step on days when I'm not working. I also volunteer as a bowling coach in the juniors program at Sunray Lanes, and I even completed a training and got a coaching certificate. Other things I do in my free time are floor hockey, softball, and basketball with the Maplewood Monarchs in the Special Olympics. Working out at Anytime Fitness, and currently I'm bowling in 2 summer leagues. I have almost doubled my average bowling score from 90 when I first started on the Tartan team my sophomore year to the 170s now in my summer league. Feel free to talk to me if you're interested in participating in a league at Sunray. When thinking about the future, I'm still not sure what my dream career is. I know that I don't want to work in fast food forever. Who doesn't? Hopefully, I will do something involving with sports or working with kids. If I had never volunteered at Oakdale, I wouldn't know working with kids was something that I enjoyed. I want to live on my own someday, hopefully around the age of 25 or 26. And currently, I'm working with a group to increase my independent living skills. Next Step has helped me learn a lot of different skills, such as working with computers in multimedia class and taking the city bus and community class. It helped me learn more about working and how to be more independent that way. At first, I didn't appreciate Next Step, but now I have to give credit to staff for not giving up on a student like me. The staff that were able to find ways to help me cope with my stress and turn things around. I want to thank most of the staff, like my case manager, Holly Stone, and Denise Phillips, even though I was challenging to her at first. Also thanks to Katie Bourne for supporting my In the Building volunteer sites, and Linda Gadare for being so easy to talk to. And Sandy Lowry, thank you for helping me to find my Out of the Building volunteer sites, because I don't know where I would be without Oakdale Elementary, to be honest. LaToya and Julie, even though I was a challenge at first, and I didn't want to speak about my feelings, thanks for not giving up on me. And I know that she recently retired, but thanks to Mary Spielvogel for being a really, really great job coach. My advice to you graduates is to not give up and shoot high. If I didn't have strong support like my mom, my job coaches, and other staff, I would have wanted to give up. So make sure to use and talk to your supports as much as possible. Just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you can be held back from doing what you're trying to do. You can overcome these challenges in your path and have success. Since I love sports so much, I will leave you with a quote from the famous basketball coach at NC State, Jim Valvano. Never give up. Failure and rejection are the only first steps to succeeding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, for those wise words. It's great to hear about your journey and your commitment to never giving up. At Next Step, we have the unique opportunity of working with young adults, teaching alongside them while they are learning. This evening, we have the great opportunity of witnessing this partnership in action. Current Next Step graduate, Perez P., and Next Step teacher, Katie Bourne, will share with us their thoughts on working hard and achieving success. Let's welcome them to the stage.
Good evening, graduates, family, and friends. When we first started talking about doing this speech together, we weren't sure how to start and had many ideas. Some were good, some were bad, but we figured we couldn't go wrong with a few jokes.
What did the students eat his homework?
I don't know why.
Because his teacher said it was a piece of cake.
So, Prez, if I divided a piece of beef into 4 pieces, what would I get?
Quarts,
Right. Now, if I divided the quarters again into halves, what would I get?
eighth,
Right. Now, if I divided those 8 pieces each into 8 more pieces, what would I have?
a hamburger.
In all seriousness, Prez, along with his peers, have worked hard to get to this point in their lives. Tonight, Prez and I are going to talk about his time at Next Step, what he did to get here, and what his plans are for after Next Step. So, Perez, what was your favorite part of Next Step?
So on Friday, we had a chance to do something fun, like plan an elective class. Some of my favorite electives were going to the park and watching movies.
I think a lot of the students would agree with you, Perez. What is the best class that you had at Next Step?
So my best class at Next Step is grad class with Linda Guedera. I like it because it gives me a chance to know what I'm going to do after I graduate.
And what are your plans after Next Step?
So my plans after Next Step is going to go to college and have a good job.
That sounds great, Perez. And what advice do you have for our graduates?
So my advice for the graduate is whatever you put your mind to, you can do it and never say you can't.
That's great advice, Perez. So now to turn the tables, Perez has always asked me if he could be the teacher, so now he gets to ask me some questions.
So what does it mean to be an independent adult?
Well, when I think of an independent adult, it can look many different ways, but I know someone is an independent adult when they have set a goal for themselves and were able to reach that goal. They may have had some help along the way, but they knew what they wanted and they accomplished it. And that is what I see today in the graduating class, a group of independent adults.
Okay. What does it take to be a teacher?
Well, Perez, I needed some help with this question, so I asked the wonderful teachers at Next Step to help me, and here are some of the things they said. Being a teacher means you get to work with some of the most amazing young people on earth. It means you have the opportunity to teach students the skills they will need for life. You get to have an influence on teaching students the skills needed to respect and interact with others appropriately. Being a teacher means creating meaningful, student-centered experiences where all students can learn, be successful, and feel great about their individual accomplishments. It means you're a motivator, cheerleader, and mentor who assists students in navigating the world around them. Being a teacher means getting to participate in a shared learning process with your students, and in turn, your students teach you new things about their world, motivate you to grow as a teacher and person, and entertain you constantly with their jokes, thoughts, and improvements.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about teaching?
My favorite thing is when a student has reached their goal, whether it be getting a job, their permit, passing a test, or getting their diploma. We love to celebrate accomplishments with students, and today embodies my favorite thing about teaching. Seeing everyone in their caps and gowns, getting ready to move on to the next stage in life is something that will always create joy and excitement for all the staff at Next Step.
Okay. Before we finish, we have something for the graduates to remember as they get ready to move forward. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, If you can't fly,
then run,
if you can't run,
then walk,
if you can't walk,
then crawl.
but
whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Congratulations, graduates of 2015.
Great job, guys, and thanks for sharing your gifts of speaking with us tonight. It is with Next Step pride that I share with you the Next Step annual slideshow.
I don't mind letting you down easy, but just give it time. If it don't hurt now, but just wait a while. You're not the big fish in the pond no more. You were what they're feeding on. So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Where you from? You might be the one who's running things. Well, you can ring anybody's bell to get what you want. See, it's easy to ignore trouble when you're living in a bubble. So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when nobody wants to fool with you? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it fun living in the real world? Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Ain't it fun? Baby, now you're one of us. Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Living in the real world. Ain't it good? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it fun living in the real world? 'Cause the world don't open up around you.
What are your plans for after you graduate, Jennifer? Going to MSS, which is Midwest Special Services. What is that? It's like a kind of a day program. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Do you plan on getting a real job? I don't know yet. Probably. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Yep.
Down 10 years from your birth, our fingers traced in circles round its history.
What are your plans for after you graduate? Do you want to tell me that?
I work at Summer Relays. Work at Summer Relays.
Well, Sunray Lanes?
Yeah.
He's gonna work at Sunray Lanes, everybody. Bowling alley. Okay, thank you, Mark.
What are your plans for after you graduate?
Get a job. Go to college.
So that's good, Ayami. But what are your plans for after you graduate from high school?
My plans after I graduate from the next step is find a way to go to college and get a better job.
Okay, cool.
I'll see you in the future when we're older. And we are
Say finding a job and maybe like Petco and PetSmart, and maybe I'll work like weekends too every day, and maybe hang out with my friends after I graduate and just do like normal life, and I think it would be the best year of my life. Okay.
on the stories you will leave. Oh, on the stories you will leave. I'll see you in the future when we're older. And we are full of stories to be told.
What are your plans for after you graduate?
After I'm done, I'm just gonna keep on working and find out what I want to do in my life, basically.
Okay. Good job. Thank you.
I'll see you in the future when we're
So graduates, this is the moment that you've been waiting for. Before we begin the presentation of the diplomas, a reminder to students that you will come forward when your name is called, accept your diploma, shake hands with the district administration and school board members, and then walk back to your seat. Linda Gadara, one of our Next Step teachers, will read the names of the graduates. Please refrain from clapping and cheers until all of the graduates have received their diplomas, in order for all of the names to be heard and all of the graduates to be properly honored.
Kyle Andrew. Ruby Grace Bowes. D'Artagnan J. Collins. Jasmine Mariah Cook. Benjamin James County. Adiemi Dean Jr. Get across. Nathaniel William Engler. Joey Scott Frisk Jr. Jennifer Rose Gerard. Justin LaRue. Max Lawrence. Alicia M. Miller. Tyler Nathan Moore. James Anthony Mueller. Heather Marie Newsom. Perez P. Mark Allen Schallinger. Lamont A. Weems. Taylor West Nelson.
This year, the slideshow was single-handedly produced by one of Next Step students. You wouldn't know, it looks very professional. Yep. So we have Kenny Downs to thank for that. Kenny, thank you for taking the time and care to compile all of the photos and videos taken by students and staff to create this exceptional memory for the class of 2015. He's a truly talented individual. At the very last exit presentation today, one of our graduates shared a quote from a movie that I'd like to share with you. The people here at Next Step are Ohana. It means family, and family means that nobody gets left behind. While you are leaving Next Step, remember us. Keep in touch because we are family. Now, you have one more thing to do to make it official. Graduates, please stand. Class of 2015, move your tassel from the right to the left side of your cap to show that you have graduated. And let's congratulate the graduates. Before we head across the hallway for celebration and cake, I have a few last comments. You can be seated. Maybe there are more than a few. I want to personally thank Colleen Wergen for her assistance in planning and organizing this special event and for keeping me in line all the time. To Sherry Erickson, who provided the music, Century College for providing this beautiful space, and lastly, again, thanks to the families, district level administration, school board members, Next Step staff, and everyone who has come here to support our graduates tonight. And a final reminder to please join us just outside of the auditorium for cake and refreshments. At this time, graduates, please rise. I know I make you stand up and sit down a lot. You can blame me. I know, right? At this time, it is my honor to present to you the Next Step class of 2015.